Top Med Talk.
Well, hello, I'm Desiree Chappell, and this is Top Med Talk. We're coming to you live from the American Association of Nurse Anesthetists 2019 Annual Congress in Chicago, Illinois. The AANA 2019 is a gathering of over 3,000 certified registered nurse anesthetists, or CRNAs, for the largest networking and educational event in nurse anesthesia. Now, this year, the AANA has partnered with Top Med Talk to bring the meeting to our listeners. Over the course of 3 days, we've been sitting down with presenters, AANA leadership, delegates to discuss hot topics in the CRNA community and anesthesia practice. I'm joined by my co-host, editor-in-chief of Top Med Talk, Monty Mythen. Hello, Monty.
Hey, Desiree. Great to be here.
It is great to be here.
Yeah.
So this is our official last podcast of the AANA.
I fell for that.
I've been telling you.
Okay. I thought the last one. This is I think this is number 14, I think. It could be number 14.
15.
Is it 15? Oh, someone's been counting.
Good.
Yeah,
not that I've been counting. Well, it's important. We've been very fortunate to have partnered with the AANA this year. And
been brilliant.
It really has. Yeah. And I wasn't for sure what kind of topics that we were going to be discussing, but they've been all...
I didn't anticipate what was served up. It was great.
Yeah, it was really good. So check that on topmedtalk.com. We are fortunate enough to sit down with a friend of mine in the CRNA community, Bill Johnson, who is the director of Acute Surgical Pain Management Fellowship at the Middle Tennessee School of Anesthesia. Hi, Bill. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
Good. This is long overdue. I've been wanting to get you on the podcast for a while now.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, we've talked a lot just in the coming and goings when we see each other in meetings, and a little bit about, or we've been talking a lot about what you do down at Middle Tennessee and being the director of the program there. Tell us a little bit about...
Desiree, interrupt for a second, just thinking about our global audience. What's
yes.
in the middle of Tennessee?
Nashville.
Nashville, there we go, because everyone's heard of Nashville. So
you're close, too.
Yeah, we're about 10 minutes outside Nashville. We have been a school of anesthesia since the 1950s. And it was first sort of a Seventh-day Adventist school that was started, and we've kept that tradition alive and well even today. So we've been doing teaching anesthesia providers, CRNAs, for, I guess, 60 years now, going on that. And we, about 3 years ago, developed this Acute Surgical Pain Management Fellowship to partner or to train CRNAs in some of the strategies in acute pain management, including ultrasound-guided regional anesthesia.
Oh, very nice. And it's kind of taken off, hasn't it?
Yeah. We've had some good success. This is our, our first class was enrolled in 2017, and since then we've had 28 CRNAs graduate from the fellowship, or I should say at the end of this month they'll graduate 28 CRNAs, and our enrollments and applications have been up, and people are really interested in gaining these new ultrasound-guided skills. I think ultrasound's only been really out there for a good 5 years or so there's a big deficit in the knowledge that older practitioners had coming into our field. So this kind of shortens the gap in that knowledge that they may have not been exposed to while they were in anesthesia school, or just because of the new technology, they haven't been able to learn the skills and techniques that go along with that.
And the equipment's pretty much available everywhere now, isn't it? So, I mean, that's...
Yeah, I would say it's becoming more available. Yeah, there are still, niches, rural places that are still struggling to get their hospitals to purchase ultrasound, but I think most places now are really starting to appreciate the value that an ultrasound...
Our big tipping point in the UK was when they mandated the use of ultrasound for central line placement.
Sure.
So that meant the platform, different probes, but the platform was ubiquitously available.
Sure.
So that then changed the access rationale for not using ultrasound disappeared at that time, and now we've seen the development of, much more readily available systems that work off iPhones and things like that.
Yeah, handhelds that work. Yeah, cordless that work off iPhones.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's really interesting. Well, I think that's probably changed the face a little bit of regional anesthesia. But we were just talking to Bruce Shanaboom about the opioid crisis and the fact that we are really trying to get away from utilizing opioids within the intra-op phase, especially, but throughout the perioperative journey of a surgical patient. So, tell us a little bit how you think that's affected.
So the techniques we teach within the acute pain management fellowship obviously are, multimodal strategies, when to use them, on what patients to use them, how they're most effective, and then we pair that with ultrasound-guided regional anesthesia blocks. And then obviously that's resulting in reduced intraoperative narcotic use and postoperative narcotic use. At our facility in Tennessee, our narcotic use over the last, where I work clinically, has, dropped dramatically, 70-80%. So
wow.
It's very rare that, we give anything more than maybe 100 mics of fentanyl for any case now. And sending patients home quicker, obviously, on fewer narcotics. We send them home on perineural catheters that stay running and anesthetize the surgical stimuli area. And so, I think we've been able to successfully really, hit home or at least really reduce that narcotic use postoperatively. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, walk us through what the acute pain fellowship looks like.
Sure. So,
and this is for CRNAs.
Yep.
That you offer.
Yeah, it is. It's for CRNAs, and so we have a couple basic. Obviously, you got to be a certified registered nurse anesthetist and had passed the boards. Our other requirements is you've got to have some kind of basic or advanced ultrasound course prior to coming into the fellowship, and then of course it's a competitive application process to get in. And then it's a year-long program. We deliver
residential, Bill, or is it e-learning?
It's online learning primarily. Most of it. We do a lot of hands-on cadaveric instruction as well, and then we also have a clinical component too, with minimum block and regional requirements that must be met before they graduate.
So you can do a lot of it from home, and then there's certain times where you come together for the hands-on teaching?
Well, hands-on teaching, we do that about 4 times a year in our cadaveric workshops. But we have interactions with our faculty in the fellowship, and we have about 35 faculty members now, and they're all from all over the world. So we have some from the UK, we have some from Canada, and so we're able through technology, video interfaces, and to deliver the content over that period of a year, and then we bring them back for several of these cadaveric workshops, and then ultimately when they've met some competency skills on cadavers, they go back and they go to our clinical sites and actually get to needle patients. So,
wow, that's interesting. And how long is the fellowship?
So it's a year in length. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And do you work with them for? Tell me the demographic. Actually, is what I wanted to ask you about the types of CRNAs that you're seeing come through the program. Young, older CRNAs. What does it look like?
It's a mix. What we're finding, a lot of CRNAs are doing. Maybe they've gone to a few workshops and they've talked to colleagues and they've gone. Started maybe integrating 1 or 2 blocks into their practice. Maybe they work at a critical access hospital. There's tons of CRNAs in the U.S. that are the sole providers at these critical access hospitals, and so those people are interested coming in to increase their block skill sets, improve their ultrasound guided regional skills, learn about acute pain management, enhanced recovery, like you guys do a large part of. And then bring that back to their facilities and really help out these critical access hospitals. So we have that provider, and then we also have the CRNA that had no exposure during school really to ultrasound, had graduated either from a program that didn't really teach those skills or had just graduated before ultrasound came around and never really integrated in their practice. And so they come on board really fresh, and there's additional learning that we have to do for them, but over time they match up and they're able to go out and competently perform these blocks.
Wow. And so I was talking to you the other day about the fact that you have the fellowship, but are you also offering like a separate DNP track, or how does that work? So
we have offered a dual enrollment track, and so for people that are CRNAs that want to go back and get their doctorate, can do a 2-year program, and the first year they spend doing all the doctorate-based classes, the statistics, the epidemiology classes, those kind of classes, and then in their second year, they really work towards their capstone project and do the fellowship at the same time. And usually their topics are usually in the field of acute pain management and have really boosted the scholarship that we get from the fellowship in that regard. So.
One of the points that was interesting, you were telling me about the labs that you guys had, like the cadaver labs. Do you have a pulsatile cadaver lab there?
Yeah, so we have partnered with Maverick Anesthesia, which is they've developed a patent pending technology where we actually thread lumens through major vascular structures and able to hook them up to a pump, and they actually produce pulsatile flow through them. And we're able to give a high-fidelity simulation. In fact, on multiple occasions, we've put cadaver videos side by side to real patients and asked people to decide which one's the cadaver and which one's not. And oftentimes they can't tell the difference. That's how high fidelity is. So we're able to do that for all of the regional blocks that have some kind of vascular structure associated with them. So. But we do advanced courses too
that's what I was just going to ask you about.
That don't have a pulsatile component. That's a lot of the interfascial plane blocks that we do in the thoracic and abdominal areas. So you
offer the fellowship, but you also offer courses, or just
they're essentially the courses are offered to the public. We do this 4 times a year, and then we have specialty labs that we hold for the fellows to come in and work on skills or develop a new block technique. Or we also have a teaching requirement at MTSA. So what they learn in the fellowship, we have them teach community CRNAs that come in to learn these block techniques, and then they even stay over the next day to help teach our entry-level students. So it's a kind of a collaborative effort between the fellowship and our entry-level program.
Wow, that's really interesting.
But if we want to look this up, I presume there's a website.
There is, yeah. It's mtsa.edu, and under the Acute Pain Fellowship or under the dual enrollment program, you can find information there. Our catalog is there. Our list of faculty members and their credentials and bios are all there. And obviously the handbook is there too, describing the admissions process.
And what is the cost of doing the fellowship, Bill?
So it's $15,000 to do it for the year, and so there is some additional clinical fees that are associated with that, depending on how many weeks and where you go for clinicals, and so that is very individualized. Some people need particular kinds of blocks, and we can send them to get those skill sets, increased, or and they can do multiple weeks of most of our fellows do at least 2 to 3 weeks of nothing but regional blocks and being a part of an acute pain service. But I've had some people go 4 or 5 weeks. So, and they get a fair number of regional exposures too during those weeks that they're doing their clinical.
And if people are interested in taking some of just their course, not necessarily the fellowship, but doing courses, do you go through the MTSA site to find those? Or are there other groups that you're working with?
So courses with
like regional anesthesia, like workshops.
Yeah, no. So there are several in the CRNA community of workshops. Obviously, Maverick Anesthesia. We offer our own cadaveric workshops,
and that's found through MTSA. Site.
Yeah. And the Block Buddy company, Case Western, or does some courses as well. Twin Oaks. There's several companies out there that do a fine job teaching, trying to get that population of people that don't have ultrasound skills kind of up to speed. So, and they do it typically over a weekend. This is a very comprehensive program, so it's a year in length. So, so we hope to. The person that's really interested in kind of diving into this, they show interest in the fellowship. So
fantastic. Well, Bill, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great. Thank you.
Well, hopefully we'll talk to you soon and see how things are going and get an update from you here in the next year or so. But if people want to reach out, again, mtsa.edu.
Correct.
And is the fellowship run all year, or do you have to start at a particular time?
You do, yeah. So we run 2 classes a year. The first class, great question. Thank you for asking that. We start a class in September. The applications for that program close June 30th, and then we start another cohort class in January, and the applications for that close November 1st.
So June and January, your dates to get applications. Yeah, gotcha.
Yep. June
and November are the dates to get your applications in. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So if you want to get this done, concentrate, get it in by November.
Yes,
or
November,
June next year.
Yeah, November 1st or June 30th.
Yeah,
yes.
gotcha. Great.
Yes.
And Bill, if people have questions that they would like to talk to you directly or the director, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So the best way is my email address. So it's bill.johnson@mtsa.edu.
Great.
It's the best way to reach out to me. Happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you for everything that you're doing and within the CRNA community and in the greater good of patient care, because we know it's a great thing for our patients. So we will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to Top Med Talk. Check out everything we've done from AANA 2019 on topmedtalk.com. We're all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. We're going to do it. And we look forward to the next time. Thanks so much. Cheers.
Top Med Talk.
Nate Majerison here. Thanks for listening to Top Med Talk. Now, before we let you go, it's important that we remind you to subscribe to Top Med Talk. That way you'll never, ever miss another episode. Also, if we could encourage you to join us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, pretty much every single social media platform, we're there. Join us. And finally, check out topmedtalk.com. If you go to our website, you can subscribe to email updates. That way we can always tell you where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing, and how you can join us. topmedtalk.com and click on the section marked email updates. Finally, Top Med Talk is proud to act as the broadcasting arm of EBPOM, Evidence-Based Perioperative Medicine. We'd love you to find out more about them as well. ebpom.org is their website. That's ebpom.org. And if you go to ebpom.org/meetings, you can find out about some of the wonderful meetings that we attend and cover across the year here on Top Med Talk. That's ebpom.org/meetings.